What should we say, guys? Welcome. Welcome to the Game of Thrones podcast. I'm Christia Ledke. I've got Phil with me, John Hoover, bunch of Navy folks nerding out over pop culture. Today, specifically, we are discussing Game of Thrones and a little bit of Endgame. Yes.
Hell yeah.
What'd I miss? Did that pretty much cover it all?
I think that's all of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
Game of Thrones, you guys.
Have you both seen both episodes? Yesterday's episode?
Yes.
All right. So
John, are you up to date on both episodes?
I am up to date on both episodes. Yes.
So spoilers, obvi.
Yeah.
Because we're going to talk about it. First of all, I'm upset because they're all like, they're going to be super long episodes, and the first two episodes are less than an hour. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, these don't feel long at all.
No.
the entire episode was an hour and 5 minutes. So the actual show was 55 minutes or so?
Yeah. I do feel like, so I think it's just been 2 episodes full of reunions.
I feel like something happened. Maybe not. Yeah, I guess the first one was reunion-esque too, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so the opening scene really mirrored the first scene, with the little boy kind of scurrying up the tree, mimicking Aria. And then we get the big kind of fanfare of everybody showing up and setting the stage for the conflict between Sansa and Daenerys. Yeah, I think it was just a lot of setup for, which, I mean, it had to happen, right? There were a lot of reunions that needed to happen. So.
Yes, there were a ton. I mean, yeah, for sure. Without a doubt. I'm trying to think, was there any action at all in the first one? Yeah, there was. That's right. Because they're in the northernmost fort, walking around. And Tormund almost gets himself killed until he yells that he's always had blue eyes.
He's got blue eyes. I've always had blue eyes. Yeah, that was about the most active scene of the first 2 episodes, I think.
Yeah.
The Castle of the Umbers.
Yeah.
It was the last hearth.
Yeah, the last hearth. Yep.
Yeah. So it was almost devoid of action. But I did like the first 5-10 minutes because they just, I mean, everybody, there's been so much build up to this season that they had all of the actors, they gave out all the characters a strong showing. You know, they focused on Aria a lot and everybody got close-ups. And so I think it was really trying to connect you back to the characters since it has been such a long time. I mean, right. Over a year?
2 years.
Mm-hmm. Almost 2 years.
Yep.
Yeah. I think the best reunion. What was your favorite reunion from the first episode? Or the first the first episode.
First episode favorite reunion. Probably Aria and Gendry, I think, maybe. I was thinking, for me, it was that one or Aria and Jon. Jon Snow seeing each other again. That one was pretty big for me in the first episode.
Yeah, I liked how they were pretty formal at first, but once they kind of got past all the bad shit that's happened to both of them in very few sentences, they just hugged and just showed how much they missed each other.
I think there's something really important, like hugs are not a thing. Like, I'm a hugger, right? You guys, in case you guys missed it. I feel like hugs are few and far between in the world of Game of Thrones, so it really marks like really, really poignant reunions. Like, Arya didn't hug the Hound. They had a pretty
not at
reunion,
all.
but they did not hug, which I think was on character and on point. But for I've noticed that over time as the reunions have started to happen. The first one was when Sansa went to find John.
Oh yeah, there was that reunion. That's
with
right.
the Night's Watch. I feel like that was the first of the reunions, and they hated each other. And after what she had been through, like he lifts her up off the ground in that big hug. So I feel like there's a special place in Game of Thrones when people are hugging. Like it's particularly, and it also speaks to the second episode because Sansa had the exact same reaction with Theon. Like
that was interesting.
She walked right up to him in that place where she was trying to act tough in front of Dany and be the Lady of Winterfell, and it all fell away when she saw him. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I mean my favorite meeting overall is probably I really like the interaction between Brienne and Jaime. That's been really cool. Yeah. And I really like this last episode. I thought this last episode was fantastic. Like the entire, and part of it, I think part of it's because being that I'm a veteran, like watching the veterans sit around and just bullshit, like it's super easy for me to relate to what's going on in that last episode. Like, oh yeah, I completely understand that. But I thought that was just really cool. This is one of my favorite episodes, this last one.
I didn't know if Jaime was going to live through that scene. You know, it's entirely possible that, I mean, they've killed off major characters in plot points that I wouldn't expect. So
I thought he was, only because in one of the trailers, you can see him for like half a second. He shows up fighting at one point, and it didn't, like, I couldn't picture how they would get from that there to him being in a battle, unless like the Night King shows up right then, maybe. Right. But yeah, I couldn't see another way they would get there. So I had a feeling that I didn't think they would send him all the way there just to die, but yeah, it is Game of Thrones. We haven't had a surprising death for a little while.
I felt like Brienne was definitely going to have to speak for him. Like that was the only way. And that she so clearly articulated, like, you, Sansa, would not be here right now if it were not for his actions. And she even used the word oath, which I thought was interesting because he had been called Oathbreaker. And Ned Stark was so judgmental of him, and he looked up to Ned Stark so much. And he has kept all of the oaths that he's made since we've known him. You know, he outfitted Brienne. He swore to fight for the living. He left Cersei to do that. He made an oath to Catelyn Stark. He's done everything he could do to keep it. So it's an interesting. That was my favorite reunion too, so far. We're missing one.
Was his sword named Oathbreaker?
Oathkeeper.
Yeah.
The sword he gave Brienne.
Brienne's sword. His sword is fucking Widow's Wail.
Yeah.
Because the idiot Joffrey named it.
Yeah.
Widow's
Both
Wail.
of those two swords were made from Ned Stark's sword.
Yep. From the great sword that he had.
Which was Ice, I believe.
Yep.
Was
from
the
Ice.
name of Ned Stark's sword. So Widow's Wail and Oathkeeper are the two swords that came from Ice. Which makes you really think about how big that sword was.
Gendry's dad is the one that reforged those. Or no, Gendry's not his dad. His master, I guess, because he was an apprentice, is the one that reforged the two blades. So he, in theory, knows a little bit about Valyrian steel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Gendry has forged Valyrian steel, hasn't he? He's worked with it.
He hasn't. No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But he now has access
to dragon glass.
He has access to dragon glass, but he now has access to dragon fire, possibly. So maybe we'll get to see a new sword. I don't know. It'd be cool.
Yeah. So the Brienne, I agree with you in the way that there was so much vulnerability for Brienne in that whole episode. Like, she really had a lot of screen time for one person. And to speak in front of a group and to speak up for Jaime was really vulnerable. Then to admit that she wanted to be a knight, like, it was rife for mocking, and everybody in the room was had her back, and she knew that Jaime would never mock her. Like, it was so well done.
And of course, one of the greatest reunions has got to be her and Tormund.
I don't know if either one of you have ever done it, but I've had the experience of being with one of my good buddies while another dude is creepily hitting on me, and almost like my buddy like reaching out to like pull me, like just scoot me closer for my own protection. And that's what that scene reminded me of. He was like, I am a giant. I would knight you 10 times over. And I just had this image of like, of Nate, like just grabbing the bottom of my chair and pulling me closer to him for my own well-being. Like, I got you. Don't worry.
Some weirdo talks about Giant's Bane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that I related to. Like, wow, you're really going there, huh?
Yeah, but Tormund
went there. He went there in a big way.
Yeah. And just the looks on everybody's faces, like the look on Jaime's face, like.
Yeah. That whole, his whole speech and then drinking from the goblet and
just pouring.
He's going for it, man. He ain't messing around.
There's I watched on YouTube today, there's like a making of Game of Thrones clip. It's actually pretty long. It's all about that episode. And they have film of them filming that scene. And when the director yelled, cut, print, and they all just started cracking up. Like, all the actors just started dying laughing. Like, they almost broke.
That's funny.
Filming that scene. Like, yeah, that's awesome.
That guy was always funny. Even when he meets Jon Snow again in that episode. I mean, he's going up to meet his great friends that he's known forever, shared so much pain with, and then bam, just out of nowhere.
I thought for sure we had just seen Jon Snow get assassinated when that happened. When that first happened, there was a blur out of nowhere that was like off-colored, and Jon just goes flying away. I thought that was it. Jon Snow's dead.
He's
no
dead.
more. That's it. Yeah.
So what did you guys think in episode 2? The scene with Aria and Gendry, the love scene, I liked it. But I don't know if it was on character or not. Like, it almost seemed like a little bit of fan service to me.
Yeah, I think it was fan service. It doesn't really match up with her character that hasn't shown any interest in anyone really whatsoever. I mean, and maybe, how old is she supposed to be?
She's about 17 or 18 now.
Is she that old now?
Yeah. I think, because it's been 7 years, and I think she was 10 or 11 at the beginning.
I still can't. To me, she still looks like a little kid. I can't imagine her doing that. I remember that, like, little Aria, when they were on the road, seemed to sort of have a hero worship, almost crush on Gendry. And he did, I mean, I felt like maybe she did have a crush on him, but it's not so much that the woman she's grown into, it seems less genuine. Like, if that little Aria had gone home from that point on and she went and learned how to kill people and baked people into pies. Like, like, and I guess, that doesn't mean she's asexual, but it just never has she shown any interest in, I don't know,
hooking up with anybody.
Of course, in all those other situations, she pretty much had control, and she knew she was going to kill somebody, and that they really didn't stand a chance against her. Whereas in this situation, she doesn't know if she's going to live. She's actually facing possible death.
And I do think she has always had a thing for Gendry. Like, if she's going to end up with somebody, it's going to be, he's the only one.
Right. I mean, who else could she possibly end up with there? I mean,
I did see somebody do a clip where Robert Baratheon was like, I have a daughter, you have a son, let's join our houses.
Yes.
The beginning. And so it's interesting because, you know, he is Robert Baratheon's actual son.
Right. Yep. And it would totally make sense coming out of this for them to recognize him as the legitimate son of Robert Baratheon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think that they're really making it clear that Daenerys is a zealot and is not as far removed from her father as we would like to think. They're painting her with some pretty villainous brushstrokes in the way that they're telling the story now versus the way they started telling the story.
You mean like the way that she was describing meeting Jaime, the man who killed her father?
Not so much that. I think the way we see her announce to Sam that she killed off his entire family, the way that she instantly, when Jon gives her the news, says, so now you are the heir. You're the legitimate male heir to the Iron Throne. Like, she
wants the throne. She doesn't care what she has to do to get it. That's what they're setting up.
They're setting, it seems like they're setting that up. And is she going to play back against it? Are we going to see her kind of go up to that edge and make a different choice? Or is she going to,
because I mean, what happens as soon as the Night King dies, she's effectively told Sansa that, hey, I'm not letting the North go. Do Sansa and Cersei end up in an alliance against Daenerys?
Well, so here's the thing. She didn't say that. She didn't say she wouldn't let the North go. They got interrupted.
Okay.
And
it didn't look like she was going to say it.
I think it took her aback to be confronted in that way. And I think we're seeing a parallel between Sansa and Daenerys. Sansa thinks of the North the way that Daenerys thinks of the Seven Kingdoms. It's hers. It's hers by right. It belongs to the Starks, and she's gone through hell to get to where she's at. And I think it's similar they're very alike. They're very, very alike, in my opinion.
Yes, definitely. They are. Sounds so scary.
Well, now she is.
Yeah.
And it kind of shows in the kind of clothing that she's wearing.
I mean, they've really changed her character from what she was originally. She was just annoying. And
I never liked her before this
moronic.
season.
Yeah. And now they've really this season and last season somewhat, I guess.
Yeah.
And then they've cemented it in these first two episodes, who she is now.
Yeah, and who she's learned from and who she's been taught by. And I think there are a lot of characters that are getting painted in really interesting light. Tyrion's being painted as an idiot, which
he really is
weird. Sansa is now become the sort of cunning, ruthless one, which makes sense. Her arc actually makes perfect sense to me. She's been paying attention to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then now we have Daenerys, the breaker of chains. Is she the breaker of chains?
She's a breaker of something.
Yeah, so it's, and then, you've got your truly honorable character.
We have a Nate Waldron watching us, by the way. Just chimed
weird.
in.
You missed my comment about you earlier, Nate. It was good. It was a good comment. I think if one more person talks about how safe the crypts are, I'm going to stab somebody in the face. What did they say, like 8 times? You'll be safe in the crypts. All the children and the women need to go down to the crypts where they're safe.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sure it's safe down there. It's
totally
best place
safe.
to be, guys.
It's the safest place in the crypts where all the fucking dead bodies are. To be totally safe down there. You're gonna get like headless Ned Stark's body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to be good. Something terrible is going to happen down those crypts. Yeah. Old bones coming to life.
How many White Walkers are there?
I don't think we know.
A huge number. I mean, when they were showing that board, they had the entire far side of the board filled with that army.
Well, there's White Walkers and then there's Whites, right? So the actual White Walkers, right. If you kill the White Walker, you kill all of the Whites that they turned.
Yeah. Why didn't they discuss that?
They did.
Well, they said the Night King, right? If you kill him, you kill. But the thing to mention would be also if you kill the right Whites, you kill all the ones that they raised. So if you're in the middle of battle and one of those things shows up, to the left or right of you, go for that. Kill that. Yeah.
I'm sure they talked about it.
I'm sure they did. It's not on camera.
Yeah. What else? Okay, so Santa and Sandor. What is going on there? Because that's the only reunion we haven't had. And that is an important reunion. And it scares me. Because I'm pretty sure the last thing he ever said to her was when he confronted her. He tried to, take her with him when he left King's Landing. And he was in her face being all scary. And she was like, "You won't hurt me." It was the second time she said, "You won't hurt me." And his response was, "You're right, little bird. I won't hurt you." And then he left her. And that was the last time they saw each other. And now I'm scared that the next time she sees him, he's going to be a white and he's going to rip her head off. I'm so stressed about this. Like, he will, it's very important. I need a San reunion. I need it to happen.
Yeah. I wonder if they shot a scene and it got cut or something.
Well, they better release it because that is an important scene.
And Nate, there's 2 more books coming, by the way, to comment on your post in the chat. Nate said he's not going to watch the show until he can marathon the entire thing at once.
Jeez.
And he's waiting for the last book. Well, there's 2 more books coming. There's Winds of Winter and then something Spring. A Dream of Spring?
A Dream of Spring.
Hey, there we go.
Nate, spoilers, buddy.
Yeah. There will be spoilers, dude.
Yeah.
Run away now.
This is the end. We're talking about the end. So, spoilers.
And this end is supposed to mirror what's supposed to be in the end in the book, right? I mean,
we don't know.
He hasn't said that. He did consult on it, and he approved it, I think, but he has not said that this is going to be the same ending as his books.
I think at the point at which, my understanding is at the point at which the show is going to surpass the books, he basically told them how he planned to end the books and then they got to do whatever they wanted. They know how the books will end, but we don't know if they're going to make the show end in the same way.
Yeah, I thought I saw some interview where where the director had admitted that he spoke to the writer and so he understood the ending, but I don't know if they discussed any arcs between them.
Well, and there are differences. I haven't read. I think I've only read the first book, and I'm actually rereading it because I read it so fast that there are whole chunks that I don't remember. I may not have even finished it. I may have gotten so disgusted with the book that I was like, I'm out.
I've read the entire series twice now because I thought for sure by the time I got to the second time through the whole damn thing, I would have another book to read. I was wrong.
Yeah. But there are several differences, I'm told, between the books and the show in general.
Yes, there are. There's big differences between the books and the show. So stuff like in the books, there is supposedly another Targaryen that has landed in Westeros. Daenerys in the book is still on the back of Drogo somewhere, flying over the grasslands. And the other Targaryen lands with the Golden Company.
Huh.
Yeah. So there's that big difference. Tyrion, oh my gosh, Daenerys' soldier.
Grey Worm?
No, the other one.
Dario?
The one that betrayed her.
Jorah?
Yeah, Jorah Mormont. He, Tyrion, and another dwarf, a female dwarf, are all part of one of the sellsword companies right now, getting ready for battle. They had not met Daenerys yet in the books at all. What are the other big differences between the books? There's a lot more going on with the Iron Islands, like multiple other characters that aren't discussed at all in the show going on.
Didn't Aria have a thing for John in the books? Like it was kind of a different dynamic. I don't know. I think I read that somewhere.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, you know.
So there's a bunch of stuff. John just got killed in the books, and you don't know what's going to happen. But there's also much more warging going on in the books. It's a lot more, the books have a lot more mystical stuff going on than you see in the show. Can we talk about Ghost, by the way? The fuck?
Sometimes he's around, sometimes he's not.
5 seconds of screen time and like no interaction.
Yeah, he's just chilling. Just looks up.
Yeah, just hanging out, you know, whatever. Only Direwolf left. It's fine.
No, isn't Nymeria still out there?
Yeah, you're right.
She's still out there, yeah.
With her pack.
Do we think we get another army? Whether it's Nymeria and her pack showing up to save the day, the Fiery Hand possibly, the Frog people maybe, who we haven't like seen anything from at all. Frog folk. Oh,
Frog folk.
So Howard Reed, right, is a best friend of Ned Stark. His two children were the ones that the Reeds are the ones that help Bran get to the north.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Jojen and Myria Reed, I think. Right. But we've never seen them actually go and reach out to Howard Reed. In theory, Howland Reed is another one that knows that Jon is a Targaryen, and he's known the entire time. But he's never shown up yet. I still think that we might see them like end up going to the swamps where they live. They live somewhere in the neck, in the swamps, I guess.
Okay.
So there's that whole, you know, that whole part of Westeros, I guess, that hasn't been touched on at all in the show. The Fiery Hand is Melisandre's, well, not her army, but the army for the Lord of Light, which always has. I do
think Melisandre's going to show up.
Yeah, and that army always has 1,000 soldiers, I think, at all times, or something like that. Is their thing?
Yeah, she's on her way back. I definitely think she's going to show up.
Like, how can she not be there for the biggest battle against the Night King? That doesn't make sense. She's got to show up. Mm-hmm. And then maybe get killed finally. But she's got to show up.
There's a whole fan theory that she's Nissa Nissa. But that's...
Oh, and that the sword will get plunged into her heart.
I thought Melisandre died.
Nope. Jon sent her away.
The Red Witch, right?
Yep.
Jon sent her away.
See you, Nate. He's out.
Huh?
See, I could have sworn that the
Nate's leaving. He doesn't want to learn stuff he doesn't want to know. So
I could have sworn that that ruby around her neck got destroyed, and so she died after that. But okay.
She took it off at one point. You got to see old Melisandre just to mess with your fantasies, but you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that must be what I'm remembering.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, she's got to show up. There's no way she can't not be there for this fight. And she went back to Volantis, I think. So it makes sense she would come back with the Lord of Light's army or whatever, you know. And they base this off of the oh my gosh, Lord of the Rings battle in the what's the big battle? This is why I need geek assistants out there to send me a text with this. The one with the horse lords in Lord of the Rings. Where's Josh when I need him? We need Schwartz.
Where is he?
I don't know.
Said he hasn't watched all of this Game of Thrones seasons, so he didn't want to take part. All
right. Google's going to save the day. Let's see. Yeah, Rohan. What's the actual battle called though? Battle Rohan, Lord of the Rings. I can't believe I can't remember this. Yeah, it's them versus the orcs. There was an actual name for it though of the battle. Anyways, they based supposedly this next fight in Game of Thrones off of the giant battle that they have in Lord of the Rings between the horse lords and the orcs. And let's see, and Sauron is, I believe, sending them against them. Anyways, the important part of it being that in that fight in the Lord of the Rings, Gandalf shows up at the last minute and saves all their lives. Basically, he saves the day when he shows up. You know, they have to hold the line until he arrives, and then at the last moment, Gandalf arrives.
Yeah, I definitely think if anybody's going to show up, it's Melisandre. And she will either hold them back or because she's going to die in Westeros. We know that. She said that. I have to come back here to die. So I don't know when that's going to happen, but I do think that like they'll be able to hold them off or beat them back, and there will be a moment like of peace temporarily until the next thing comes. But man, we're like a third of the way through the season, so there's not that much left to do.
I found it. The Battle of Helm's Deep. That's what it was. Helm's Deep. Yeah, we're Gandalf shows up with the Rohirrim and saves the day at the very end.
Yeah.
Rohirrim.
Yeah.
That wasn't the elf army, was it?
No. They put the elves in there, but I don't think the elves are in there in the books from what I remember. It's been a long time since I read Lord of the Rings. Long time.
I couldn't sit through the entire Game of Thrones series this time because I just really did not want to go through the whole Bolton sequence again.
Yeah.
It's just too gory for me. And although the best part of that whole thing was where I started liking Sansa, which is her feeding Bolton to his own dogs.
To the dogs, yeah.
Yeah, my favorite part of Sansa's sort of evolution was when she is with Littlefinger and she says, I can still, like she graphically describes to him what it was like. And she's like, no, it's not like I'm figuratively saying I can feel him in my heart. I'm telling you, I can feel him. Like, you need to understand what you did to me. And it's such a departure from her sort of, she was raised to be the way she was raised. She didn't decide that, it was going to be all gallant knights and poetry. Like her mother created that on purpose.
Right, which is really weird. Like her mother should have known better.
No, I don't think she did. Like that's what she did. That's what her mother was. Her mother was born and raised to be the lady of a castle and have beautiful handwork and keep a house and make babies. She had 5 children, right? And tolerated the Lord of the Manor's bastard. Like, it's exactly who Caitlin Stark was, and other things.
Yeah.
She was more than that. She grew up. But she also survived a war. She married Ned after the War of the Seven Kingdoms. So she saw the intrigue. She saw all of the, what it takes to fight a war and how loyalties get divided and all those things. And then there was peacetime and she got married. And so
Sansa and I guess maybe you don't teach your kids all the horrible things of the world.
No, you want them, for a young woman to be protected, she needed to marry well. And that's why she was so upset with Aria, because
and you learn when, the king cuts your dad's head off. Welcome to the real world, kid. Have fun. Yeah. Mr. Brad is joining us, by the way. Mr. Kreitz is hanging out here.
Oh, it's my best friend, Brad. Haven't seen you forever, Brad. Hey.
Nice.
BFF. My favorite picture from your wedding is me holding up my little beer glass to his boutonniere. Little sip.
Awesome. So, let's see. Do you want
What
to talk
else
about?
to say?
I don't know. What else for Game of Thrones?
I just need a Sansan reunion.
Yeah.
I just won't sleep well until that happens. I need them to.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of hoping that the battle spans at least 2 episodes.
I think the battle itself is only gonna be 1, but I think maybe we see like the conclusion at the very end, start of the 2nd episode or something like that. I mean, that's a long fight. They're gonna show an hour straight of battle. Not that I'm against the idea, but that'd be a long fight.
It's supposed to be the longest, most expensive battle sequence ever filmed. Like, I do think the bulk of the 3rd episode will be the battle.
Brad says hi, by the way. He just jumped on the chat.
My best friend Brad. Yeah, I do think that the next episode is going to be mostly the battle, and then I mean I think there'll be lesser battles throughout the last 3 episodes, because they still have to get down to King's Landing. Something's going to happen there. So
I mean, they have to deal with the Golden Company somehow. 20,000 troops.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I still think that if they survive this next episode, we get to see Sansa and the Hound going on an assassination mission to take out Cersei and kill her ass. Maybe one other person, maybe Varys, to get
Aria.
them. Or Aria, sorry, not Sansa, Aria. Yeah, Aria and the Hound and maybe Varys or something like that getting sent, south to take care of Cersei all in one foul swoop.
Yeah, because we still have to fit in. I'm almost certain we're going to have the Clegane Bowl. Like the 2.
Right.
The Hound's got to fight the Mountain.
Yeah, you would think. Although there is a rumor that, so I don't think they do it in this. I don't know if they do it in the show or the books, but there's a moment in either one of them where you see the Hound looks into the fire and can see images in the flame.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a rumor that that's the real reason that his brother burnt the shit out of his face, is because he told them how he was going to die when they were young, and then grabbed him and pushed him into the fire. So, yeah. And he seems like he knows how his brother's going to die, because he made that comment to him about, you're going to die. We both know where it is. It's not now.
We both know how this ends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then there's an argument to be made the Mountain's already dead.
There is that.
So,
yeah.
He's kind of a zombie mountain.
What is died cannot be killed? Isn't that right?
What is dead may never die.
Yeah, there we go. What is dead may never die.
But yeah, we got to kill Cersei. We got to kill the Mountain. Somebody's got to rule.
Yeah.
We need a few more sex
Melisandre
scenes because it's HBO and I'm old and I appreciate those sorts of things.
Melisandre needs to die.
Melisandre's got to die.
Yeah.
She said she was going to die. Varys has got to die.
You would think Aeron would die at the hands of someone, probably.
I'm guessing Euron will die at the hands of Theon's sister.
Maybe.
Whose name I can't remember right now.
Oh my gosh, what the hell's her name? All right, somebody who's watching, help us out.
Yara.
Yara.
Yara, yeah, Yara. Yara Greyjoy, yeah.
But I also think he's going to turn on Cersei. Like, he's had his fun.
And then don't forget that Bronn is now hunting for the Lannister boys.
Is he?
I mean, I think Jaime's fucked. I think Jaime might be fucked. I think Tyrion might get to live. I think Jaime might be fucked. Because
here's the thing. What was he going to say in the castle, in the Red Keep,
right.
when Cersei was like, you go kill my brothers? He's going to be like, no, thanks.
Yeah.
Nah. He's going to be like, yes, ma'am, I'm going to go kill your brothers. Then he's going to go away, and then he's going to make choices.
And in theory, maybe he gives Tyrion a chance to give him a better offer.
You know, something. But like, nothing's final with Bronn. Like, he's no oath keeper.
No, he is not.
He's not really even an oath maker.
No.
He's
a sellsword through and through.
He's a Roger that, and then ask for forgiveness rather than
Maybe
permission.
he'll kill the head of the Golden Company, take over that role.
He would be good at that.
Yeah. I mean, he's a sellsword.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that guy only had like what, a minute of screen time.
Yeah. He's a lot more important in the books because the head of the Golden Company, like I said, there's another Targaryen, and that is I forget what the hell his name is, but he's somebody of importance in the books.
Yeah. So I have this little theory that probably does not hold water. So tell me what you think about this. Remember the last king Targaryen? He was screaming, "Burn them all!"
Right.
And so there was what was that called? Dragon flame throughout.
Wildfire.
Yeah.
Wildfire. So, is it impossible to believe that there's more wildfire beneath the city and even beneath the Red Keep?
That's not at all hard to believe.
No, yeah. I mean, she already blew up the Sept, so yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Very possible.
She don't give a fuck.
And so that's what one theory was that Jaime would have to kill Cersei for the same reason he killed Aegon Targaryen. Was it Aegon?
Yes. The Mad King.
The last king.
The Mad King.
The Mad King.
Yeah. Well, and based on that one prophecy, she's supposed to get killed by one of her by her younger brother or whatever.
Younger sibling.
Is
right?
sibling?
So
okay.
It could be. So the Valonqar is the baby, is the youngest, or the younger, I think.
Younger,
sibling.
Yeah.
So it could
Which
be
they both
Aria.
are.
It could be
Aria.
It could be Tyrion.
Oh,
it could be Jaime. It could
so you're
be
saying a younger sibling.
A younger sibling.
Got it.
Yeah.
Aerys, by the way, Aerys Targaryen was.
Aerys.
Yeah. So there are so many. It could be Sandor Clegane, who's the youngest.
Yeah.
I think the most likely ones have always been Jaime
and Tyrion. And supposedly she always thought it was going to be Tyrion. That's
right.
part of the reason she hates him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I love Tyrion's line. It didn't stop you from fucking her. You knew exactly what she was, and didn't stop you from, did it say fucking or sleeping with her?
I don't think he
still loved her.
He's from loving her. I don't think he got particularly vulgar
graphic
with it. But we filled in the blanks.
Yeah, we did. In my brain, he said
Cersei fooled me, and he was like, "You weren't fooled."
Yeah. That was good. No. That was a good moment. You knew exactly what she was.
You knew exactly what she was, and you loved her anyway.
That's right. That's what the line is.
That's what he said.
I just put "fucked" in my head.
Right.
That's all.
Oh well, he was describing himself as sleeping with his sister, and then Tyrion's only friend was sleeping with his sister. So
yeah.
Kind of digs on himself.
That was pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they really are just out there with it. I think Jaime's kind of going through this rip off the scab, clean out the wound kind of thing. Like, this is what I've done, and this is who I am. And that line in the beginning when Bran was like, the creepy Bran is like, the things we do for love. Like,
yeah.
So good.
That was, yeah. God, be creepier, kid. Be creepier.
Yeah.
Okay.
How old he is in real life?
No idea.
To the interwebs.
He looks older now, that's for sure. They made everybody all of a sudden has aged up about 10 years.
Well, I saw with Maisie Williams, she was talking about how all the things that they did to keep her looking prepubescent.
Oh, yeah?
She's in her 20s.
Wow.
So, and I mean, when you see the love scene, it's pretty obvious she's grown.
Yeah.
But they bandaged her bust to kind of suppress it, and they did that for like years. And then that wasn't working anymore, so they actually put a little belly on her.
Oh, to make it seem flat down.
To flatten everything out, so that she wouldn't look filled out. And she was like,
That's
and then in the final, when she was in Bravos, like she went into the costume trailer and she was like, and they had a little bra. And I was so excited. Like I got to wear an actual bra and have a figure. I can't do a Maisie Williams accent, but it was British and adorable.
Well, I'm going to have to get going soon here, guys, but we definitely need to touch on Avengers, I think, before I have to jet.
I don't know nothing about it.
You said that the premiere is tonight?
The premiere for Avengers Endgame is tonight, yes. Right now, in theory, somewhere, wherever they're having that premiere, somewhere in Hollywood, I guess, maybe, LA. They are, they've all walked down the red carpet and they're probably watching the movie right now, I would imagine.
I thought those things didn't start until like at least Wednesday or Thursday.
Well, the actual movie is out Thursday. I have tickets for the first showing Thursday, 6 p.m. at the Dolby Digital Cinema.
Damn.
At AMC.
When did you have tickets?
Thursday at 6 p.m.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
The baby's not here until Monday. I was like, aren't you having a baby in like 15 minutes? Like,
there was a chance I was going to be selling those tickets. I was curious to see how much money I could get for like middle seating, super high quality cinema at the 6 p.m. showing. Probably quite a bit.
Tampa, Florida, yeah.
If anybody wants to throw $1,000 my way to go to a 6 p.m. showing at Veterans 24,
I'm good. I'm fine.
let me know. I got a kid coming. I can use $2,000. $1,000 a ticket. I got 2 of them.
Yeah, you could.
$1,000 a ticket.
Yes,
I've seen crazier things. But
okay.
Babies is expensive, son.
I'm aware. Trust me.
You're not as aware as you're gonna be.
Yeah, I know. Tell me. Oh, fun.
Not as aware as you're gonna be.
Do you know anything about Avengers Endgame, Christy?
Do I know anything about Avengers Endgame?
Yeah.
I know I've got like 20 movies to catch up on before I see it.
You saw Infinity War, though, right?
I did.
Okay.
Did I? Yes.
Yes, you did. Yeah. You saw the snap.
Infinity War, and I saw Captain Marvel.
Yeah, so you're caught up enough.
And
Are you going to watch this one?
Huh?
This is the one. This is the one you got to see.
Well, I'm going to see it.
Yeah.
I just feel like I should probably see some of the other ones beforehand. I got another Captain Marvel comic book, so that's cool.
Wow, that was a flashback to early 2000s, late 90s.
That was me turning on. I was trying to get to our YouTube channel, and that was it was like an ad that played for one of the videos. So, yeah. Y'all.
Yeah, so Avengers Endgame premiere right now.
4 people watching us. I think.
It was out Thursday.
I think we're 3.
Thursday.
Yeah. I'm super excited. I can't wait. I think it's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah. I'm really interested in Brie Olson's role in this, but there's so many people who need to make a showing. I don't even know how long the movie is supposed to be, but
it is 3 hours and 2 minutes.
Oh,
I've got answers to your questions.
3 hours. Okay, that does leave enough time for everybody to make a good showing.
Go to the bathroom beforehand, kids.
3 hours?
3 hours and 2 minutes.
They couldn't make 2 movies? Come on.
I wish that they had done an intermission, right? That would have been cool.
They may have.
2.5 hours is long enough, but 3 hours, I don't know how I'm going to do that.
It's going to be worth it. It's going to be a good time.
Pretty sure I'm going to have to watch it twice.
Well, and so if you've been following it and like watching like stuff like the new rock stars, which they break down all the trailers and whatnot, it's pretty clear that the movie is going to be that there's going to be like a battle up front, it seems like, and things aren't going to go very well. And then you're going to see them you're going to see time pass in the movie, I think, quite a bit of time. And people kind of go off their minds.
Battle where things didn't go well? Did you guys see Infinity War?
I think we're going to see another one. I
I
think Captain Marvel, is going to show up and they're going to go off half-cocked. And things aren't going to go real well for them. She's going to think that she's this badass that's going to come and save the day. And I think she is, but I think we're going to see Captain Marvel get her ass whooped.
I mean, evidently everybody's got to get their ass whooped.
Evidently.
We've got impotent Hulk. We've got like
we get Professor Hulk in this.
Okay.
Sorry for spoiler for anybody, but we get Professor Hulk finally.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Banner's mind in the Hulk body. There's toys out there that show him in like the Professor Hulk garb, so that's how people know he's going to show up.
Okay. Well, I've been just wondering how Tony is going to get home. You know, how does he get?
So he's with Nebula, and if you remember, the Benatar is there somewhere because the Guardians of the Galaxy showed up. So their ship is there somewhere, and you never saw it get destroyed or anything like that. Plus, Nebula had that ship that she brought and crashed into Thanos during the fight. So he should be able to find a way home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm super excited. I know that. I can't wait for it. It's gonna be good.
I'll be out of town all next week. I'll be traveling, so I doubt it'll be a while before I get to see it. But
I kind of hope that Ant-Man gets a little bit more of a role in this, because.
Well, first he's got to find his way out of the quantum realm, because that's where last time we saw Ant-Man, he was trapped in the quantum realm.
Yeah.
From the end of Infinity Wars, right? Spoilers, by the way, I guess if you didn't see Infinity Wars and you're listening to this for some reason, I think it's probably on you at this point. You had a chance. Should have saw it.
Is anybody actually listening to us?
I mean, Brad is.
Is Brad still there?
No, we're going to put this on the podcast channel, so people will hear it. Yeah. There'll be like 3 other people that hear it there.
We're working on it.
It's a work in progress. It takes time. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure that we'll have a lot more to say in about a week or so.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to figure that out with Christy. Not going right away.
I'll be at a big game ranch in Kerrville next week, so I will probably not have the best internet reception.
I'm gonna have a
They have a baby giraffe.
Cool.
Probably taller than me.
I'm gonna have a small child starting next week, so
yeah. So you're kind of gonna be at a big game ranch too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll have to show you guys the nursery once we get done with the live feed.
Okay.
The nursery looks like a big game range. Not a big gay range, a big game range.
Either one of those things is okay.
They're both
of those
fine,
things are fine.
But it'd be a little weird to have that be the theme for the nursery for the new kid. You know, I'll let him pick it on his own. I don't have to send him down a path.
I mean, whatever.
It doesn't need to be rainbow themed, okay? He can make his own choices. It could be.
It could be 80s rainbows all up in there.
It could be.
Masculine rainbows. Manly rainbows.
The manliest of Care Bears.
He could be a brony from day one.
That's terrible.
Terrible. I don't even know what that is.
He could be a brony from day one. Sweet
no.
angel baby brony Colin.
I hope that's not the kind of geek he is.
Oh, I imagine he'll be a well-rounded geek.
I would imagine.
He'll have various geek mentors.
Yes.
Be a well-rounded geek.
You gonna show him all of these podcasts?
I feel like he'll stumble upon them someday. Because they're out there in the world now. There always will be, probably. So, sorry, kid, I guess. Kind of. Maybe you're welcome. I'm not sure. We'll see how it all works out.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. When you're famous and he's going to college and has the wherewithal to be a spoiled rich kid, you'd be like, yeah, make sure you're dead now, jerk.
All came from this podcast right here. This was the moment.
Mm-hmm.
We realized what our audience really wanted to hear about was My Future Children and Game of Thrones and Avengers. We had a missing ingredient.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
But
it's going to be exciting.
We'll get him a little podcast mic, little headphones. Adorbs.
Oh my gosh. Baby's first podcast.
Aww. Hashtag millennials. Hashtag millennials, baby.
Millennials having kids. It's a thing.
I went down to Galveston for a conference last week, I think. it's all a blur. Conferences are stupid. And I rode down there with two of the defense attorneys that I work with, and there's this ongoing joke that every time I say I'm a millennial, and both of the defense attorneys were in the Army, and I was in the Navy, obviously, and they're like, "You're not a millennial," and I'm like, I literally am a millennial, and they're like, you're not a millennial. And then one of the other defense attorneys we work with, her name is Elizabeth, she's awesome. She and I are the exact same age, and they keep talking about how much of a millennial she is, and I'm like, you guys, we're the same age. I am a millennial. And they're like, no,
Yeah,
definitely not a millennial. You're not. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you guys. I definitely am. Hashtag elder millennial. Millennials are not 24-year-olds anymore.
Nope.
What?
Turns out we're like 38.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. 80
How old are
is
you,
the cutoff.
22.
You're not 22.
Not in robot years.
43. So you are not a millennial. You are squarely Gen X, I think. But
well, I think we've officially gone off the theme of this podcast. You guys want to call it a night?
What's up? Sorry. We can edit this out.
Yeah, we can leave it. It's good for them.
Anyway.
Good for someone.
Yeah.
All right. You guys want to call it good on the Game of Thrones? Yeah. We'll have much more to talk about, I'm sure, between Avengers Endgame this weekend and Game of Thrones. The battle's finally here. Find out what happens.
But more importantly,
good luck, Brienne. Hope we get to talk about you after episode 3.
Yeah, Brienne's gonna die.
She's
gonna die.
Yeah.
What?
100% dead.
So I got a question. Who's on the right flank? She's on the left flank. I think maybe it's gonna be
John?
No, because he's not a dragon. I think maybe Mormont might be.
Jorah. Yeah.
Jorah. I think he might be the right. That would make sense, I think.
Yeah.
Then you have Grey Worm in the center. I think that would make sense.
Or, I mean, you should have some, because Jorah can lead the Dothraki.
Dothraki, yeah.
They know him, and he knows them.
Or maybe he's leading the cavalry. And you just have some random on the far right flank.
I don't know, man.
They've got to have some kind of field of fire, right? I mean, they know that fire can kill these things.
Yeah, you see him digging a big ditch at one point.
Yeah.
You know what they need is some wildfire. Tyrion ain't used it all, and his sister.
Right? Like, you'd think that they would have shipped, like, Jaime couldn't steal some wildfire?
Right. A little bit, maybe.
A little bit of napalm?
Yeah. You can't steal a company, too, of Lannister troops along your way? I mean, come on.
Yeah, like, hey, guys.
Give them an order, dude. You are literally the head of the household.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
He's
wildfire, a couple hundred troops, something.
Yeah.
Don't bring a gold hand party to a firefight. Like, don't do it.
Well, he admitted.
Brad wants to know. So Brad wants to know why they didn't take the dragons out in advance and kill some White Walkers. I think because they were busy planning. Because Danny and Jon are the ones that ride them, and they were also they're the ones that have the most leadership experience for giant battles. I think at this point.
Yeah. Do you really want to take the dragons against another dragon and
also ice spears?
Yeah.
Another one.
That's my thing. Like ice spears, because evidently it's super easy to kill a dragon.
That motherfucker's got an arm. I tell you what,
dude.
Got an arm like a giant ass crossbow.
Yeah, like super easy to kill dragons.
Yeah.
You don't need a trebuchet.
You don't need nothing. You just need an ice spear.
Big fucking icicle and a guy with a good arm.
Big fucking icicle and a good arm. Boom. Dead dragon.
Dead dragon.
Dead dragon.
Let's not have that again.
Yeah.
No. Once that was enough. Okay, they got
dragon
one.
armor.
Get it.
Some ice-proof dragon armor. That's what we need.
Also, Brad said the reason that we don't see Jon and Danny out there fighting them is because they're busy having incestual sex.
Well, yeah.
Busy doing some aunt nephew fucking.
Yeah, I mean,
obviously. In the Crypts of Winterfell, it's fine.
Gross. Gross, gross, gross. Let's go where the dead people are and fuck our friend. I mean, fuck our family. That'll be fun.
I wonder if that's one of the things
What's wrong with the show?
Through their heads when they found out.
I don't even think that was part of the equation. Like, I don't think they're grossed out by it at all. Because, like, the Targaryens regularly married their siblings.
Yeah.
Like, regularly.
It's a Targaryen thing.
So, I don't think they care. Like, they're like, number 800 on the list of problems this may cause is,
Yeah.
we're related.
Yeah, at least it's a cousin, or whatever.
At least I'm not sullying myself with your dirty bastard Stark blood. At least you're pure.
Yeah. The important things. Let's stay focused here.
That's gross.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
pretty terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's icky. It's gross.
Yeah. Okay, on that note, I think I'll go puke.
Oh, hey, Phil, congratulations.
Thank you.
Phil got married to somebody.
Oh, that's right. To. I knew that.
Yeah.
Somebody he's in no way related to.
Why do you get married to someone you're not related to, Phil? Well done.
Good job.
Yeah, we're still not planning on having any kids, but
you could, and they would all have the appropriate number of limbs and everything.
Right number of genes.
Yeah.
Also, high five on not making babies. Although, if you're into that, that's cool.
It's my thing right now.
Somebody's got to propagate the species. I don't talk too much shit about making babies because guess what'll happen if I do?
Somebody's got to pay for our Social Security.
Well,
if I talk too much shit about not making babies,
yeah,
I'll invariably end up accidentally making a baby. So I try to get too smug about it.
It could happen.
Well, I've got 8 siblings, so I figured I would even things out a little bit by not having kids.
You're one of 8?
Yeah, one of 9.
You're one of 9? And you're still this socially awkward, Phil? What the fuck?
Oh, yeah. It was. Well, I was in the middle also, and 2 older, 2 younger of each, brother and sister. Yeah. Thanks.
Nothing but love, Phil.
I don't believe that.
You should. I'm a nurturer. I'm a social worker, Phil.
Which means you also know how to push those buttons.
I feel like the only way that Phil experiences love is through torture. He's kind of a masochist that way.
Wow, that's almost the same thing that Jen said the other day.
Yeah, great minds think alike.
Well, guys, unfortunately, I have to go check
my note.
On that note, I have to go make sure my pregnant wife is still up and kicking. So
tell Katie I said hi.
I will.
Right.
All right.
See you when your baby's here.
Kill the live feed, Phil.
Okay.
See you guys next time.